Welcome to a special coffee with dragon. I pour myself a cup of coffee. First, I'm gonna put the coffee and then the water. This is gonna be a special cup of coffee discussing the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, which you can see the red dragon flag, which is also black, red and black and golden, yellow. The emblem flag of the dancing goddess empire. You can see the sun and the dancer ballerina-like shape, which is a highly mystical, symbolic representation of Phoenix People's Party, where you can see the phoenix here, which of course I have a tattoo of. Pictures of a cup of coffee. We're gonna be rock and rolling dancing goddess, dragon empire, and the Phoenix People's Party by yours truly, Adrian H. Dragon. A true birthing is Hana Priestess, dancing goddess and dragon zero of the dragon empire. Yours truly, androgynous, pansexual, world's greatest living dancing millennial poet, ADRINHANNHDRAGAN. Special edition. I'm gonna be discussing the mission, vision, and philosophies, dancing goddess and the dragon empire and the Phoenix People's Party, and of course it is the ongoing 40-day revolution for world peace via dancing, working out, poetry, and even this cup of coffee is part of the 40-day revolution, which I've began January 20th and which will end March 1st, and we're gonna have to have phase 2 of that revolution March 1st. And this cup of coffee is for world peace generally. I will be discussing the ideas of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire and the Phoenix People's Party, their beginning, and my will, my loving will for world peace via this trinity of Phoenix, dancing goddess, and dragon, which has a fourth dimension, which we'll get into later if I don't forget. Stir the coffee, pour it up, and we're gonna ready to rock and roll. The Dragon Empire was born in a paradox right here in this room office and temple in October 2019, where I have experimented with different workout methods and techniques, and where I've lost more than 72 pounds, and where working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will continue to be medicine of choice for yours truly, as I believe it is for many. That's why one of my advocacies is the mass financing of my brothers and sisters to work out, train, exercise. I'm calling specifically on athletes who have been since 1984 rewarded by our societies in a big way. Many athletes since 1984 make millions of dollars a year running around with a football, playing with a puck and a stick, throwing a ball. Even during these COVID times in the NFL, I was meditating upon that. I'm not saying they're not great athletes, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that comes a certain point in time where the selfishness, the poison of selfishness, when we gotta give back. If I ever make a million, it's for sure my point of view. Of course, now I can't. I'm living the worst financial crisis of my adult life. I'm still waiting for that first donation for my workout videos, my dancing videos on YouTube, with working on what I got, this technology, and live streaming on Facebook. Maybe by tonight, by midnight, we'll get that first dollar via PayPal. A donation, those willingly loving, or to commission a video, dancing, boxing, living or poetry or coffee with dragon or working out the 300, the general war integrated total body training workout, donate by PayPal or message me if you want to commission a specific video to dedicate it to a friend, to dedicate it to somebody or to a cause such as world peace, the environment. And of course I'm open for business 24/7. So if you want to donate, be the first one to donate that dollar. You can remain anonymous if you will, but if not, that first donor, I have no private and public sponsors at the moment in time. And I would like to pay my debt, of course. Got 10,000 in debt and minus in the bank about 550. I'm grateful on the government of Canada, which a $718 check coming this Monday will pay my rent, pay my electricity for the month of March. But anyways, that first dollar, maybe I'll get it by midnight tonight. This will not be posted by then, but maybe for my workouts I'll get it. If not, keep on doing what I do, because I do it because of love and the will. So back to the Dragon Empire, right here in this room of Sun Temple. Rewind back in time we go. To October 2019. After yours truly, Adrian H. Dragon, independent citizen, security analyst, student scholar of history, was alarmed of general history, Western civilization in particular, but also a little bit of history of China, Africa, the Americas, Latin America, which of course is part of Western civilization, but the Middle East, Carthage, and a little bit of Islamic caliphates and what have you. So general world history, but with specific Western civilization, with more of a focus and the knowledge of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, more Western civilization for world peace. So back in October 2019, I was alarmed by what had transpired up to that moment in time geopolitically, namely the trade war began by the Trump administration with China, imposing tariffs of 10, 15, 20, 25%, tariffs on more than 650 billion worth of goods. 1 billion is 1,000 million. 1 billion has 9 zeros. So you can imagine the macroeconomic scale of that trade war, which was enormous, and it is ongoing. It has not ceased officially, of course. Maybe there's a de-escalation slowly. We'll see with Biden, but nonetheless, a lot of damage has been done. Paradoxically, I've always advocated, and still am, for the re-establishment of cordial, friendly, and mutually beneficial relations with China. I think that Trump, I have nothing against him personally, oppose his policies. I think that Trump, grandfather Trump, since he could be my grandfather, he had that idea of a China from the 1960s and 1970s, you know, that more backwards, and China has, since 1984, has risen to become the world's biggest producer and exporter of goods, even in high technology with Huawei, which of course the RCMP arrested the chief financial officer and daughter of the founder of Huawei, who had overtaken Apple and Samsung to become the biggest smartphone maker. To under an extradition treaty, we Canadians arrested Meng Wanzhou, and I'm speaking as an American as well, who was, as a universal spiritual teacher, was born in the United States twice in past life, 156 years ago, not far, 2,000 miles down in the deep south. But nonetheless, I think that, of course, the detaining of Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor by China, two Canadian nationals, in response to the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, Cathy Meng, chief financial officer of Huawei. So I believe Trump didn't fully understand China, and I think that this word understanding China not just as a communist one-party state, and I think here lies the mistake that many analysts, many, whether anti-China, whatever, here lies the big mistake, especially Western chauvinisms and Western chauvinism, that we look from a Western perspective, or a North American centric perspective, or an American perspective, if you will. that a lot of people tend to look at China as a one-party communist state. Sure, it's a one-party communist state. I'm not denying that fact. The party which Mao Zedong, the leader of the communist revolution after the Civil War, and then I remind you that the Empire of Japan conquered much of China, and China was humiliated in many ways during the Second World War. And before, with colonialism, I'm not going to go into that, but I think that we lack the understanding of China as a continuous civilization that dates back to more than 3,000 years, and that China also had an empire parallel to when the Roman Empire and rival to it, which they built a lot and a lot of invention and lasted for hundreds of years, just like the Roman Empire. The Han Empire, Qing Shi Guanzi, was the one who unified warring China, the warring Chinese states, Han Chinese, right? The Han ethnicity, which is more than 93% composed of China. And yes, it's a one communist. Communism has transformed to take Chinese characteristics. There was the historical Sino-Soviet split in the 60s and 70s, which I'm not going to go into. This is quick my take that we don't fully understand, and Trump had that idea of a backwards type of China, which this is perhaps the most important thing that I'm going to say. Do not underestimate China. That's all. Now back to 2019 October, when I was alarmed about what was going on in the world. I created this workout called the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, to go hand in hand with a scenario based on what had transpired. And I said the trade war, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, the historical Pearl Harbor event. I've created this workout. I've envisioned a World War III scenario, paradoxically in a prophetic parallel way, which predates COVID by 93 days and resembles COVID-19 health and financial crises. Now, I don't know for sure what caused COVID. I believe it was snakes to human beings. And third, that's my trinity on COVID. First and foremost, I don't know. Second, I believe it was snakes to human beings transmission. And since I don't know, but I believe it was snakes, but I don't have 100% proof, I do not rule out a possibility for COVID having been made in a laboratory, having been an accident, having been engineered, a bioweapon, another possibility. That's not what I believe. I believe it was snakes to human beings, but I don't have proof, so I don't know for sure. But what I do know for sure is that my workout, General War Integrated Total Body Training System, the 300 workout, which was created, made, and produced, concocted, put together to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which paradoxically resembles and predates COVID by about 93 days, is the perfect symmetrical workout during COVID and to be able to be performed without any equipment, and is a training that has perfection. And the Dragon Empire, my advocacy and calling for the creation in real life of the Dragon Army, International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, the official name, was born out of that paradox. Because when I've started this new workout program, I had created that scenario to go hand in hand with the workout. In the scenario, I envisioned the closures of gymnasiums, which happened, a financial crisis, which happened in February 20th, 2020. The stock market started crashing, and it then ended about April 7th, and of course triggered recessions with the lockdowns and depressions even in some economies. So having created this workout to go hand in hand with the scenario, we must understand the scenario, because the scenario and the workout made me create, establish, declare the Dragon Empire. So the scenario was this. Paradoxically, I still am, and I was an advocate of world peace. I'm a world peace dancing millennial poet advocate, and dancing millennial poet advocate of world peace, for world peace. But things were not going well in the world, and I said Trump administration is with this trade war is taking us on the path of war. It's taking North America, United States of America, I mean Canada was allies of NATO and NORAD, and NATO and its allies. It's taking us on a path of war with China. This is crazy. I was alarmed. I was shocked. What's going on? What's this craziness? To start a war with China would definitely mean World War III, right? So that's why it's the World War III scenario that was integrated in the workout, and the workout and the scenario go hand in hand. And the workout was created to go with that scenario based on what had transpired up to that moment in time, October 2019, and there's proof on YouTube. I have documented proof. You can see my workouts from October 2019 called the 300 Challenge, because at that point it was the 300 Challenge: 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. I explained the scenario, and I'm gonna go into it now. So the scenario was this, and it's ongoing because the workout hasn't finished, but it is the paradox of why I'm calling in real life and I've declared the Dragon Empire. Surprise, a stock market crash called Black Halloween, Black Halloween, which was based on Black Tuesday in October 1929 on the crash, but this one was the crash because of the trade war during the stock market collapse. Stock market crash on Black Halloween, which 7 days later triggers a global financial collapse on November 6th, which subsequently 11 days later, 17th of November 2019, this is the timeline of the scenario. A surprise attack by China and North Korea on the North American West Coast, because China and North Korea blamed the Trump administration for the global financial collapse and the stock market, which triggered it. A paradox. Right, this is the scenario, but was based in real life. What was happening at that point in time, the trade war, the financial crises, and what have you. The stabilization of world markets, since China was and the United States were the two pillars, still are in many ways, of the world integrated economy. The biggest market, the United States, an importer de facto of goods, United States of America, and the biggest producer and exporter. Export, anybody in macroeconomics, financial analysts will tell you that these two go together. China, the biggest producer and exporter, United States, the biggest market and consumer and importer. Biggest exporter, biggest importer, biggest producer, biggest consumer are the two pillars. And all the other economies revolve around the production and the consumption and the market and the export and the import of these two superpowers, economic superpowers in export and production and consumption and importation and exportation, right? And so my scenario was based on realistic events which had transpired up to that moment in time. So that was the scenario. The workout, officially known, titled General War Integrated Total Body Training System, was because the World War III scenario, after the surprise attack, of course, that's World War III begins, November 17th in the timeline of the scenario, 2019. And in the scenario, I was envisioning myself as an independent citizen security analyst, an advocate for world peace, and somebody who has worked out, trained, exercised, physically lost more than 72 pounds, and created this perfect, symmetrical workout that was created to go with this World War III scenario and to be the de facto workout training for citizens, willingly loving citizens who integrate with police forces, public and private security forces, and all armed forces, Canadian, United States, Mexican, North America, and then all the Americas and NATO. I'm actually calling right now for Israel to become the 31st. 31st NATO member. It's by midnight. That'll be so. And if not by midnight, by 3 o'clock tomorrow p.m. And if not, by full moon 3 a.m. Saturday. If not, by Monday 1st, when the 40-day revolution for world peace ends and the second phase begins. So the scenario with the workout, in the scenario after the surprise attack to World War III, envisioning myself with willingly living citizens and allies and police forces, local, national, and international allies, such as NATO. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. 30 member states. So I'm calling for Israel to be the 31st member states. The workout is designed to be for a new global security force in the scenario. Now I'm envisioning, you can check my first workouts from October 2019 there. I had $37 and I've purchased 37 cans of sardines. I was eating them, one sardine after a can after the workout because they give you protein and what have you. So I'm going to share my skills, what I'm willing to do, and clean, wash, exercise, massage, cook, build, transport, do physical work, all that I can do and I'm willing to do, of course. Get dirty but get clean, hygiene, you name it, and rebuild and shovel sand or XYZ, farm work, order work, you know, all that needs to be done to rebuild, establish peace. But of course, you gotta have peace through some strength and have the defense as well and the security force. So in the scenario, envisioning the creation of this new global security force from willing citizens who start doing the workout, the 300 workout challenge, because it was a challenge back then. And then after February, when COVID was in the news, and the February 20th, 2020, the stock market officially started crashing, and it ended on April 7th officially. And of course, recessions and depressions are what's happening in the global economy right now. And I have to say that I got tested negative October 2020 of last few months ago, 3 months ago. But I think I had COVID exactly a year ago, between the beginning of February and February 20th about. I was very sick, very ill. I was like pestilence stricken. I'm like so sick. I was coughing. I thought I was gonna die. I said, "Oh, this is my end." I thought I was gonna die. I don't know what this is. I'm so sick, ill. This is my last days. So since then, after I recovered around the 20th February, I was healed about, and then I started even paradoxically by doing the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300. I have even unleashed this super muscular lean muscle growth because I've performed my 140th session of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 today. It's before my March today, 25th of February 2021. So I've done 140. Initially I started to do 300 General War Integrated Total Body Training Systems, 300 sessions of the 300 workout. So I got 160 to go. I'm almost at half, not even at half yet. So a lot to do, a lot to go. But nonetheless, the 300 workout, on Vision, it has 3 phases when you start doing it. From the first session to the 100th session is the birth and the growth. And from the 100th session to the 200th session, where I am now doing it, is the super growth and maturity. And from the 200th to the 300th is going to be the maturity with slower growth and stabilization, right? So now I'm at my 140th. I'm in that second phase. After the birth to growth, from the first session to the 100th session that you do, From the 100 session to the 200 is the super growth, super muscular development, because you start doing it and it's stronger, fitter, and is the perfect workout. And the paradox again was that this workout was created to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario. And then after February 20th, 2020, when I've healed, COVID, I started hearing about COVID-19 in the news. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I know there was conspiracies like the assassination of Julius Caesar, perhaps JF Kennedy. I'm not going to go into that, but for, don't slander Bill Gates. I'm actually calling Bill Gates to support the mission, vision, and philosophy of world peace of the dancing goddess and the dragon and the phoenix people's party, who's the anti-war, anti-racism, anti-poverty, pro-love, universal revolutionary centrist party. That is the political global party to support the mission, vision, and philosophies of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, which I founded subsequently afterwards. After I've healed, so I was sick ill and thought I was gonna die. I think I had COVID exactly a year ago in February 2020. So I don't like people slandering Bill Gates. I think he's a genius. Sure, the man looks for his interests. He's a genius of computer science. Microsoft, in the past 30 years, he's been the most, is the one I think who's been between 13 and 22 times during the last 30 years, the world's richest man. I'm not sure exactly how many times. See, got a fact check, but I know that he was anywhere between, so from 1989 to now, so 31 years. From 1989, let's say, to now, I think he was about 13 or maybe even more than 13 times the world's richest man. But he's a great philanthropist, and I could definitely learn from him. See, I have skills, I write poetry, I dance good. I've paradoxically created this great workout system from having experimented here in this room, Office Temple, with workouts. But I don't know it all. I'm learning every day. So I can sit down and learn from Bill Gates and can tell me what he thinks about the general mission, vision, and philosophies, and then the more detailed way and how I envision taking the Dragon Empire and the Dancing Goddess Empire and One Empire further. So back to the scenario, which of course resembled COVID in real life. After I've healed from being sick in February, beginning of February 2020 to about 20th of February, started hearing about COVID. I said, COVID. I said, oh my goodness. I got a shiver. I remember getting goosebumps. The COVID-19 health and financial crisis resembles, in an eerie, paradoxical, providential, parallel way, my scenario. The similar things are the financial crises, recession, and depression, right? Now the surprise attack. They're theories, not proven, not conspiracy theories, but there's security analysts and what have you that might say that it might be a bioweapon. I don't believe that, first and foremost. Like I said, first and foremost, I don't know. What I do know is that people are sick and dying. I wear a mask, I keep hygienic, do the best that I can, social distancing, and have and will. As you check my videos, I've dedicated to the workers on the front lines, of which I've been last year a few times, hired as an essential worker. And I believe it was snakes to human beings that transmitted it. Snakes. But since I don't know for sure, don't have proof, I don't rule out another possibility. So I keep another possibility open, whether an accident in a laboratory, an experiment gone wrong, or an accident or a deliberate biological weapon attack, of which I believe only maybe a few state entities could have had the capability. During the Cold War, a lot of bioweapons were developed. I don't know. I believe it was snakes to human beings. I don't know for sure. But this is what I do know. And my scenario resembled COVID. And since in that scenario, the workout was created to go with it, after February 20th when I healed, I am calling for that establishment of what I've envisioned in that scenario. And this is what I am calling for in real life. Yours truly, Adrian H. Dragon, birthing as status of the dancing goddess and Dragon Zero of the Dragon Empire, whose motto is, nobody is born a dragon, you become one. Through blood, sweat, and tears, and doing the 300. And exercising. You can be an ally, a citizen, a supporter, a subject of the Empire of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon, or a member of the Phoenix People's Party, and to advocate for world peace and securing the three elements of civilization, food, housing, and transport for all. To dance as a member of the International Dance League, which I'm calling the creation for the Dancing Goddess Empire. And of course, what I'm calling for in real life is the creation of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force from all willingly loving citizens, all existing private and public security forces, all police forces and armed forces, locally, nationally, internationally, to join me for world peace. And this International Citizen Social Security Force, as I've envisioned in this scenario, aka the Dragon Army, to have also a social mission of securing the three elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport for all. In my 40-day revolution ongoing, when I've started the 40-day revolution January 20th, I've did an accounting of how much food I had to see if it's gonna last me, and if I purchased some other food, for example, the other day I bought a few packs of Israeli wafers. I love wafers. I found them on special, so I bought a few wafers. I love wafers, and so I bought wafers, but I marked it. So everything that I subtracted and that I marked, what I got. Subtract what I consumption. If I added something, I subtracted. Initially, January 20th, when I've started the 40-day revolution for world peace via dancing, working out, training, exercising, poetry, and a cup of coffee such as this one, I've had 111 items. I had about 37 cans of sardines still. I had pasta. I had noodles. Paradoxically, the noodles, all of them, I had about 50 packs, were from China. I'm not dead yet. I didn't die. They're actually quite good. They were the more affordable on the market. Listen, I'm a financially struggling, world's greatest living dancing poet. I got some debt, and I work on call. A commission. I didn't even get $1 donation, maybe by midnight tonight, so I am struggling. But I'm willingly living to do an offer, and open for negotiations, and open for business 24/7. I'm not dead yet. I ate more than 50 packs of noodles this past 36 days or so since the 40-day revolution began, so I survived. I'm not dead. But they were the best deals on the market. I won't name the brand, but because I have no public and private sponsor, but I bought them. Cost me about 22 cents a pack of about 300 and of about 80 grams, something like that, 85 grams, 360 calories, about 11 grams of protein each, about 85 grams, 95 grams of packs, about 22 cents average each, because I bought them in packs of 12, about 3 packs of 12, and individually, so about ranging from 22 cents with a big 12 packs and about 25 cents for each. So because that's what I could afford. If somebody's willing to finance me lunch, breakfast, and evening, I'm listening. If not, better shut the fuck up. Anyways, so that's what I'm calling in real life: the creation of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, the Dragon Army, secure food, housing, and transport. I believe that after we have this secured, these three elements of civilization, we'll be ready for the next coronavirus crisis, for the next pandemic, if it so happens, even for World War III. We'll have food, housing, and transport secure. We will have a willingly citizen integrated security force with willingly loving citizens who are responding on call and who go secure their perimeter, their existing perimeter, of course. That's why the workout, there's 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks, gives you the total body workout, and there's a fourth dimension to that trinity, is integrating the cardio. The rules of the 300 workout, also known as the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, are simple. They're the effective method of and the core workout for the Dragon Army, and will be and is the examination. 1. To be a member of the Dragon Army, you must be able to do the 300 within these rules. And I have to witness it myself and sign it and give you the go. These are the rules. Betty, I'm gonna need some more minutes if you don't mind. I'm gonna have to keep the voice level for this for the next 10 minutes. Is that okay? It is late, but anyways. So the 300 workout must be performed as my friend, oftentimes teacher, and the one I love and call sister. And if I do die tomorrow of COVID, or the next day, or March 1st when the 40-day revolution ends, if I do die of, I want her to remain anonymous for now, but I want my sister to, one I love and call sister, my friend times teacher, I want her to inherit, and I'm leaving her an oral will, the dancing goddess, the Dragon Empire, and the Phoenix People's Party, to continue for world peace if I die tomorrow of COVID, or by March 1st, maybe on full moon, during the 37-hour, 49-minute, 42-second Sabbath, almost 38-hour Sabbath for the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Emperor and the Phoenix People's Party, which I'll get into. And so, the rules of the 300 are this, and I must see a dragon soldier perform it in order to be a dragon warrior, peacekeeper, member of the dragon army. You must do the 300 within these rules. 300, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks must be performed, done, completed under 93 minutes. A maximum of 13 repetitions per set, a minimum of 3. Obviously anywhere in between. It's your choice. It's not regimented. You can do the hawks, you can do the push-ups, you can do the squats in whatever order you choose. Maximum of 13 repetitions per set, minimum of 3. So those 3 numbers, keep in mind, 13 and 3, they go together. They relate to the maximum, which is 13 repetitions per set, and the minimum, which is 3 reps per set, the minimum. Under 93 minutes. We got 93 minutes to complete it. Between the reps, whether you do 13 max or 3 minimum or anywhere in between, or whatever you do, you must march, jog, walk fast pace, or run for a minimum of 31 seconds. Those are the rules, and that is the passing examination. You must be able to do that within those rules. Those who are not dragons and will not be allowed into the dragon army. You must be able to do that. 300. You can be an ally, you can be a citizen, you can be a subject. Support the mission, vision, and philosophy, and are welcome to. The food, housing, and transport secured. The dragon army will have perform this and keep on performing it. Minimum of 3 times a week, whatever the case may be. But that is the passing grade. All ALL, all orders given to the dragon army by yours truly. Becoming Dragon Zero, born Adrian H. Dragon. Nobody is born a dragon. Not even myself, who's a surname Dragon. My biological father did not give me much. I haven't seen him in more than 30 years, what have you. And never knew him really. Surname Dragon. My blood, sweat, and tears, this 300. Took that A, and that A becomes an O. Nobody is born a dragon, you become one. This is yours truly becomes Dragon Zero. All ALL, all the orders given by yours truly, Dragon Zero, Captain, founder of the Dragon Empire, must be obeyed by the Dragon Army. Must be obeyed by the Dragon Army. And that stated, Dragon Zero will not give any orders that himself not willing to execute. All orders will be given to secure food, housing, and transport for all, to encourage people to work out, keep hygienic, the social distancing, the hygiene, ensure people wash their hands in public, 2 meter social distancing in public and in private, encouraging hygiene, encouraging working out, training, exercising, dancing, doing the 300, loving, keeping a good, clean quarters. Not perfect. Still gotta clean my own room and quarters and room office and temple myself. So that is the Dragon Empire. Now, the dancing goddess is one and the same empire as the parallel and complementary and necessary counterbalance to the dragon army and the dragon. Dancing goddess empire is my love for dancing. During this COVID, I've discovered that, of course, just a few days ago, I've discovered that I have acquired savant syndrome since I've survived a mortal head wound by a black sword in February 2010. Acquired savant syndrome, I've acquired intellectual, artistic, and athletic skills, and of course, I love dancing. So the dancing goddess empire is one and the same empire with the dragon calls for the establishment of the International Integrated Dance League. Integrated that it will be an all gender, all ages inclusive, and the purpose and mission to organize mass dance events globally. These mass dance events to raise funds for the mass cleaning of the oceans, rivers, lakes, waterways, and the mass financing of solar, hydro, wind, and electric power. And of course, free public transit and backing the public transit for the mission that is the dancing goddess parallels intersects with the dragon, securing food, housing, transport for all. The Phoenix People's Party, the link between them, the Universal Revolutionary Centrist Party. As myself, I'm a Universal Revolutionary Centrist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a communist. I'm a Universal Revolutionary Centrist, founder of the Dancing Goddess, Dragon Empire, and the Phoenix People's Party. Revolutionary, it concords for the creation of the global central bank via biometrics. The hand, the eye, and the voice are unique biometric identifiers by what I call debt refusion, which is my theory that I've started, financial global theory. I started writing about 7 years ago. In summary, debt refusion advocates for the taking of all existing public and private debt and fusing it for the creation of the global central bank to issue a universal unit of exchange, what I call sun credit. And this global central bank, by this refusion, to mass finance the dragon army and the securitization, security, securing food, housing, and transport for all in a non-sectarian religious way, non-sectarian financial way, rich or poor, non-sectarian in any way, cultural race. I believe in one human race that I believe once we have secure food, housing, and transport, encourage people to love, exercise, do what they will, love who they will, how they will, create art, do, speak what they will, think what they will, travel where they will. The dragon and dancing goddess empire. It's simple. It doesn't have to be 10,000 pages of books. Because sometimes that melts like the sun melts the snow in March. So blah 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 blah. The Dragon Army will secure food, housing, and transport via this public-private partnership that I'm advocating for the creation of by the Global Central Bank, and what I call the financial theory of debt refusion. Really simple, really effective, really simple and efficient. No need for 10,000 books that sometimes obfuscate, confuse, and muddle simple solutions which sometimes are right in front of us. This is what I'm calling for. This is what I founded. This is part of the 40-day revolution for the establishment of the Dragon Empire and the Dancing Goddess Empire, One Empire, and the Phoenix People's Party. I'm calling upon all willingly loving citizens, brothers and sisters, to become dragons or citizens, allies, subjects of the Dragon, the Dancing Goddess Empire, members of the Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love party supporting the dancing and the goddess, secure the three, food, housing, and transport for all. And then we can encourage people and socially reward, create a social reward system to encourage people to volunteer, to do community work, to work out, train, exercise, dance, learn, and do all the things under the sun that we already do. But with that debt refusion, creating a global central bank to issue a universal unit of exchange. And once we have that secured, we can have this parallel economy of innovation. Of course, dancing goddess by the dancing and the mass financing of solar, hydro, and electric power and public transit. I don't own a car myself. Of course, to mass clean the oceans will attain harmony, equilibrium, and balance between civilization and nature. And now I'm gonna do a little bit of writing. I'm gonna write the I'm gonna be doing a, is it visible? I don't know if it's that visible for you on the board. Let's see if I write. Dragon Empire. Is it? The Dragon Empire. The units. I think is that visible? Is it? I think it's lacking a bit. Nonetheless, I'm gonna write it just to as I go. Maybe it's gonna be just for me. So the Dragon Empire is gonna divide it into three parts. So on this part, I'm gonna put this is Hawk Island, or the Dragon Empire, of course, headquarters, and the beginning right in Hawk Island is known as Montreal. The central point, Hawk Island, Montreal. Central point, what would that be doing? Calling upon all willingly citizens, Dragon Empire, the creation of the Dragon Army. More willingly living citizens, all police forces, armed forces, and security forces, all military establishments, security, public and private establishments to join mission, vision, and philosophy. Join the Dragon Empire. So I'm from Hawk Island in Canada, an automatic Canada, United States of America, and Mexico. So phase 1. Join the mission, vision, and philosophy in the Dragon Empire to support creation of the Dragon Army, to secure food, housing, and transport for all. Afterwards, with NATO, Israel, and the Americas. By all NATO, that is NATO and the Commonwealth. NATO and the Commonwealth is Australia and New Zealand is not in NATO. It's what's called in the Commonwealth nations. NATO, all NATO Commonwealth, Commonwealth of Nations, from the British Empire, Commonwealth of Nations, Grenada, have you? All NATO Commonwealth nation. So since I'm asking, of course, and calling for Israel to become the 31st NATO member, we put Israel. the Americas, Central, South Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, Chile, Brazil, Guyana, and so forth. All the Americas. Third dimension, our African brothers and sisters. All of Africa. Including, of course, the North Africa, Egypt, Libya, Middle East, all of Africa. All of Africa. 3 dimensions. Number 1, 2, 3. And the 4th dimension, expanding the hand of peace, for world peace to all other nations, peoples, willing, including, of course, for world peace, India, China. 4th dimension, all the rest. All the rest. World peace. The units. Secure food, housing, and transport. A public-private partnership means there has to be a public-private partnership, like all the buildings, the residential building, and the cessation of the rent payments as we know them. But of course, has to be upkeep, has to be regular checkup, has to be the food delivered, or of course, since I'm asking for a public-private partnership for the food system, secure food, housing, and transport, or the quotas for people to also go eat a burger if they want, and in their quarters, per each citizen, subject, or ally, the Dragon Empire to have, I'm going for a minimum of 40 days. So each citizen allotted an individual fridge, which I don't have. It's not really a fridge that I have. It's a shelves, 3 shelves. Again, I'm gonna see. It's gonna last me the food until Monday when the 40-day ends, March 1st, but unless for 40 days. So public-private partnership. Debt refusion means converting all existing public and private debt to create a global central bank. To issue the universal unit of exchange, which can be in parallel with other currencies. Universal of exchange. And securing food, housing, and transport. Rewarding, encouraging community work, volunteer work, exercising, training, doing. Socially rewarding, encouraging, volunteer work, community work, training, doing other activities. Doing phase. So that's part of the mission, vision, and philosophy. Securing food, housing, and transport from Mark Island, Montreal, Canada, USA, Mexico first, North America basically, should be North America, then all NATO, Commonwealth nations, Central and South America and Israel, second phase, third phase, all of African brothers and sisters of Africa, the fourth dimension, all the rest, world peace, and dragon units, dragon unit, mostly be able to march. That's why we do 300. Calling for a public-private partnership to make the dragon army. Red is the official color. The dragon green is the official color of the goddess. The dancing goddess has green officially, so the dancing army should be mostly not only green and gold and purple, but most of the dragon army uniforms should be red. Dragon units. Unit 3 dragons. I've determined the parameters because there's rural and urban. Of course, Montreal Island is a 3.7 million metropolis island, so big urban area. Since our population is more than 80% in North America urban, is a priority for the urban, of course. So, yeah. A unit, a dragon unit. Three dragons together. A dragon group. Seven dragons together. Dragon. Core. 11 dragons. And a dragon legion. 300. So simple. 1, 2, 3. That trinity of fourth dimension. Legions only for the legions are the total. The contingency for respective headquarters. And of course, no higher than legion will be necessary. This is for security, mostly purposes, for practical purposes as well. But no assembly unless given the order by yours truly, Dragon Zero, specifically to assemble all. Nonetheless, this is the organization. Simple, effective, efficient. A unit of 3 dragons can work together with a unit of 7 dragons, and vice versa. Secure XYZ kilometers, miles, square kilometers, square miles. 3 dragons, 10, 7 dragons, 30, 11 dragons, 100. In a legion, 300. So unit is 3, group 7 dragons, core 11, and a legion is 300. 3. Secure food, housing, and transport for square kilometers roundabout. A lot of patrolling, be in communication with, always with the 7 dragons, and with the 11 dragons. The main dragon legion, So I'm calling for the top brass of NATO. But first, drop down, give dragon 13 push-ups, love, for world peace. Simple, effective, efficient, contingent. In case of another COVID crisis, this will rejuvenate North America, Western civilization. Calling upon all willingly loving to contribute, suggest, add, willingly loving, support for world peace. Or by securing food, housing, and transport. I'm advocating the legalization, standardization of recreational drugs, calling for the immediate end of the war on drugs, and for standardization, education, legalization, standardization, education, legalization, standards for health, for security, adults, consenting adults, the education on the consumption of drugs and the meaning, calling for the general legalization of drugs such as Portugal. Portugal, a state in Europe, has since the year 2000 legalized possession of most recreational drugs. As a matter of fact, on the 37-hour Sabbaths, which the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire will begin Friday at midnight in Hawk Island, and then throughout the Empire will go on each midnight. So it's EST midnight Friday. That means that on the West Coast in California and Vancouver, West Coast is 3 hours back, so it's 9. So we'll go from each hour. Midnight, Friday midnight starts in Hawk Island, Montreal. Almost 38 hour Sabbath. Dancing, rejuvenation, and recreation for the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Youth. Especially those 11 to 37, but no discrimination on age, all inclusive. Food, massages, dancing, and all genres of music, and recreational drug consumption. That is about it. This is the Dragon Empire. The general view, of course, willingly citizens to join, create the Dragon Army, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, for my existing public and private Security forces, armed forces. After secure these three, and then we can move forward. Be ready for, in case of another coronavirus, another epidemic, pandemic, the dragon army established. The world will be ready, because the dragons will be ready to secure food, housing, and transport. But for all, by securing food, housing, and transport for all, public-private partnership in a non-sectarian way, establish also justice, social justice, so people will have food, housing to eat, will be encouraged and given the best of our abilities, the hygienic products, encouraged to work out, take care of their bodies, keep hygiene. Dragons also have to oversee the hygienic protocols in public, washing their hands, washing their feet. So that is the general overview. While willingly loving. Now to the dancing goddess empire. Dancing goddess empire. Create the international integrated dance league. Yours truly, Dragon on, I can dance. Can bet on that. Yeah, I can dance. Yeah, I can dance. Dance until you put out in the trash. Grass, I can. Trash. Integrated in that, it will be all gender, all ages included. Great International Dance League. Mass dance events. 37-hour, 49-minute, 42-second Sabbath. Mass dance events for financing solar, hydro, wind, alternative energy sources. Mass cleaning of the oceans. Rivers. Lakes. Mass cleaning of the ocean waterways. Free public transit. For recreation. For pleasure. For joy. So, the dancing goddess orders priestess Hana, that is, orders the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, European soccer, it's patriarchal, they're male only, been making since 1984 millions of dollars to run with a little ball, throw a puck. And there's no women's sports leagues that even makes close. Sure, there are women individuals in tennis, but only a few who make even close, not even close. There's not even one sports league. Women hockey make only a few $1,000s a year. Women's soccer, only a few $1,000s a year. There's a massive financial gap between the male sports leagues and the women's sports leagues. A massive financial gap. Talking about gap. Thousands a year. The NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB, European soccer, who average millions of dollars a year. Some make $10 million, others 6, some $3 million a year, others 7.7, others 9.3. Some make 700,000 a year. Rather lower, but averages in the millions for each player. About, I wonder the exact averages for the NFL and NHL, MLB and NBA. See something to Google tonight when you hear this. So to counterbalance the male-dominated sports leagues, but this league will be integrated in that will be an all-gender inclusive, because it has its purpose, pleasure, rejuvenation, and joy by dancing for all. And I will dance, believe me, I will dance. Come back on that, put music, I'm gonna start dancing now. But integrated in that, it will be in all ages, no age discrimination. But it will have the core of the dancers, of course, who will lead the league. So the core dancing league, which be the army, which Priestess Hana will select. Yours truly I will select. Easy. The rest will dance with us. Pleasure for join, for mass financing, solar hydropower, cleaning the oceans. To have this integrated link to balance the patriarchal sports leagues. And to advocate for world peace. So that sums it up for the dancing goddess Imperandi, whose motto is important that the motto is understood and known. The motto of the dancing goddess Empire, whose emblem and flag you can see there. The woman clothed with the sun, symbolic and mystic, is that also represents not just the social and political equality and rising of women, but the recognition of the divine feminine, the goddess, the forgotten goddess, right? Dances with her brother, the sun now. The sun's rising over China, Japan, Korea, North and South, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Nepal, Burma, also known as Myanmar, Laos, India, New Zealand, Australia. And the motto of the dancing goddess is, of course, that all ALL, all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the legumes are made, produced, and created by the dance. The goddess would have brought the sun, which is a scientific fact, of course. It's more mystical. It's a dance, but it is a scientific fact. From her black, fertile earth with the water and the rain, and the heat and the light of the sun, her brother. But the goddess is the sun. All ALL, the fruits, vegetables, and legumes, even this black coffee bean was created by that dance, and our brothers and sisters harvested it. And their hands should be kissed and washed. And now we will be going to the Phoenix People's Party. A bit of coffee left. What is this? Not a dictator, not fascist, not communist. Yours truly, Adrian, Hana, Dragon, ADRIN, HANNAHDRAGN. Coming Dragon Zero, priestess of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire. I'm a revolutionary, universal, revolutionary centrist. No fascist, no communism, but for the 21st century, must secure food, housing, and transport for all, for world peace, via public-private partnership. Phoenix People's Party. Anti-war, anti-poverty. When we have secured food, housing, and transport for all, with all the existing economy that we have, to securing those three for all, regardless, in a non-sectarian way. who can prosper even more, work out, train, exercise, learn new skills, acquire more wealth, more knowledge, more joy, and learn, keep hygienic, and dance. Non-sectarian. Spiritually, religiously, socially, culturally, racially, financially rich and poor, black, white, brown, sexually, no, no sectarianism there. Myself, I'm LGBTQ, of course, pansexual, non-sectarian, anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love, universal, revolutionary, centrist, party, global party, global party, universal, international, that is, revolutionary in that it's based on democratic fusion, supporting the creation of the Dragon Army, dancing league, to attain harmony between civilization and nature, and the Dragon Army to secure the three elements of civilization, of all civilizations: food, housing, and transport, the three elements. And with that, in a non-sectarian way, can have universal brotherhood. People encouraged to work out, train, exercise, take care of their bodies. Bless friend, oftentimes teacher, when I love and call sister, the only family I got, and invite all willingly loving to be my brothers and sisters. I could be a bro, sis, brother and sister, Adrian, Hannah, Dragon, in the Phoenix, the Dragon, and with the dancing goddess. Global party, calling all willingly loving, political parties. March 1st, you are all dismissed. Thank you for your service. Internet Dragon will dance. We give hugs, washing the feet, massages. Bring the food, I'll cook. Bring the wine, I'll serve. Bring the music, I'll dance. Got lotion, I'll massage. Do 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 do. Love, love, love. Love is action. 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 books of theory compacted into simple philosophy, mission and vision of the dancing goddess, the Dragon Empire on one empire, and the Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love party, fundamental, essential compendium of universal energies, knowledge in the 21st century. I'm still learning every day, calling upon all technology, corporations, Facebook, Google, private and public, individuals, all corporations, all ALL governments, local, national, international, to join me, yours truly, Adrian Dragon, for world peace by supporting this simple mission. There you have Phoenix People's Party and of course, the practical actions. So of course, debt refusion, debt, DET, debt refusion. So simple. Debt refusion explained. Convert all existing private and public debt global. Convert all existing public private debt simple theory put into practice. So X is the total global private debt. Debt. Y is the total global public debt. For example, yours truly, Adrian H. Dragon. For me, I'm going to put X total private debt. My private debt, now it's 10,000. It's 9,999.81 cents. So 30 cents or so. I'm going to put 10,000. It's 10 at a dollar. I'm going to go to the closest number, so 10,000. So including my debt also 10,000 Canadian, taking all the currencies and transposing them or paralleling them to the US dollar or currencies. So 10,000, my debt, your debt, my neighbor's debt, local, national, and international, private debt, private citizen, which I am, my 10,000 plus somebody else's 100,000 or 50,000, or credit card, all private debt, credit card, what's it? Then we'll put a debt refusion. This is the debt refusion theory we put into practice by the Phoenix People's Party to create a global central bank. Y is the total global public debt. So public debt could be in the city, could be the debt of the country, the IMF, the World Bank. So XY. Debt refusion, convert all existing public and private debt. So X plus Y equals, I'll put 0 equals 2A. 0 equals 2A. Or 0 equals 2AB. Because it's not a constant cancellation, it's not an annihilation of the debt, it's a refusion. Simple equation. My original equations developed 7 years ago were pretty complex, but this is the simple compendium of that scribblings that I did more than 7.7 years ago. AB. So AB to AB together is the global central bank institution, the new financial system, the international bank, the global central bank, global central bank. A is the universal global currency. And B is the public-private partnership that will secure and create a dragon army to secure food, housing, and transport. Public, because it's the public and the private debt. So that's the refusion thereof. Is the public-private partnership to secure, to create the international citizen integrated social security force, citizen integrated social security force, aka the Dragon Army, secure food, housing, and transport. So, in other words, public-private partnership to secure food, housing, and transport. Secure food, housing, and transport. Then we can have, of course, the global currency by the technologies and the public-private partnership, calling on Facebook, Google, Apple, Tesla, Bill Gates, Amazon, all the corporations, all public and private institutions, governments. March 1st, governments of the world. Thank you very much for your service. You can become dragons if you can, allies, citizens, supporters, with all the parliaments, governments of the world. Resolved, dismissed. Thank you. Create the mobile central bank by biometrics, hand, eye, and retina. Of course, issue the Phoenix number, which I'm 0, because I'm Dragon 0. The international social security, or international social integrated security. International social integrated security. That will be the passport for that Team Goddess and the Dragon Empire, the Phoenix, allies, citizens, subjects. Simple. For world peace. Calling upon all willingly loving to support Phoenix People's Party, the link for the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, non-sectarian, anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love party, universal revolutionary centrist, global party, simple theory, debt refusion, meaning convert all existing public and private debt. X equals total global private debt. I put my number of 10,000 there because I'm part of the private. I'm part of the total global private debt, so I'm part of X. Y is the total global public debt. So it could be Montreal's debt, Canada's debt, the IMF and the World Bank and other countries' debt. And then the formula for the debt refusion to create a global central bank. X, the total global private debt, plus Y, the total global public debt, equals 0. But it's not cancellation, it's a refusion, and 0 equals 2, AB. And that 2 has a functionality. AB, 2AB together stands for the global central bank. A stands for the universal global currency, and B for the public-private partnership, which is debt refusion to create and fuse. Yours truly, Dragon loves you.